Welcome to Two Humans Talking, the podcast where we talk about what it really takes to be healthy and stay healthy in this modern, fast paced world. I'm Tiffany Sims, your holistic wellness coach, and today I have the honor of bringing you this lovely human, Miss Elaine. Your vibrant lipstick, your vibrant hair, the purple dress, like the vibes that you give off the moment you hopped on screen were just like they were vibrant and they were energetic and I felt them in my soul. And so I just appreciate you showing up to the call today, being yourself. And so can you take a moment and just share with our besties that are listening to us on this podcast episode, what lights your soul on fire? Like what makes you you?
What makes me me? What lights my soul on fire is kind of finding the humor in everything. The the kiss from a grandchild or my dogs, my husband being in a good mood. Uh, had to chuck that in there because it
It's
can be difficult.
relatable.
Yeah, it's just all the little things. Because in all honesty, I spent a great deal of time in a victim state.
Mm.
I was too weirdly focused on what was going wrong. I have an odd dichotomy. Part of me is a fatalist. I have been working with suicidal ideation since I was a little kid. And the other part of me is Pollyanna. And I play the glad game every day. And the fact that those two cohabit the same body is a lot of fun.
A lot of fun and I'm sure at times very exhausting and confusing.
It is. It
And
is.
how
And
can that be both?
I make light of it because it's only the past couple of years that I even understood there was a label for the ideation. It was one of those dark, dark secrets that I had to keep because I'm 68 years old. So when I was very young, these things were all so taboo. You didn't talk about things like that. You didn't tell people you had odd thoughts. My God, they would lock you up. That's really how it was. So it was it's so refreshing to be in this time of millennials and Gen Z. And these kids are questing for whatever's out there. And they have bigger concerns than we ever did. They understand that we are global. We are a global people, and we have to start paying attention and being concerned for everyone else as well, which I think is really important.
Yeah. I really want to ask you, what was it actually like having those thoughts growing up in a time where it wasn't okay to be different? I feel like now we celebrate differences, and it's almost like if you're not different, then like you get shunned for that. Like if
Yeah,
you're normal, you're not like it's not okay to be just average anymore if you don't
yeah.
have something quirky about you. And so like what did that really say to you at a young age? And like, what did you learn from that? And how is that carried forward in life now?
That's such a good question. When I was little, um, it didn't matter if I burnt my toast or I got a note back from the teacher because once again I was talking. All of those things and anything serious that actually happened within our family. One of the options on the table for me was, well, I could just end it. And I don't think I quite understood the ramifications of that until I was 16 and I lost one of my dear friends to suicide. Prior to that, from the time I was 12, I volunteered at an asylum. And in that facility, I was granted an opportunity at 15 years of age to work there for the summer and live on campus. And 2 weeks in, a young man that I took the bus to school with, who was in a home for wayward boys here in my city, I found him there. And I said, "Oh, wow, I didn't think you could work here." They had to get a special thing because we were only 15. And he said, I don't work here. I live here now. And that rocked me to my core because it meant anybody could be put there. Now, you have to understand at that time, by the time I was 13, there was a song called They're Coming to Take You Away. Ha ha, hee hee, ho ho, to the funny farm. Is it any wonder that many of us were really concerned and consumed by what went on in our heads? I've talked to people for the past few years, and the fact is, we are not taught, my friend Rex Sykes says, to drive our brains.
No.
We have to have a license for a cat or a dog or a bicycle, but nobody teaches us what to do with our brains. And they don't teach children that not every thought in your head is real. Is it true?
And
No.
not every thought you have is actionable.
Exactly. Okay. But more than that, no one explains to us about feelings because the feelings are what drive everything. And feelings, they are meant to flow and go. You ever
I love
watch
that
a,
flow and go.
oh, it's so true. You
We
ever
don't
watch
have
a
to live
herd
in
of
them.
antelopes? Okay, a herd of antelopes, that is, they have people on the outside of the herd, well, not people, antelopes, on the outside of the herd, and they are constantly on vigil, watching, are there lions? They're checking it out. And the minute there's a lion, they alert everyone and they run like hell. And then they stop. And if you watch, every single one of them, right down to the babies, do this weird shimmy from head to tail. That's shaking off the cortisol and all those hormones and things inside us that give us that fight or flight, that make us on edge, that put us like right into that agitated state. They couldn't live in an agitated state all the time.
No,
So
they
what
didn't
on
explode.
earth assumes that human can? And we do. We are, many of us,
So I have to
agitated
ask
all
you,
the time.
Elaine, have you seen the new Inside Out movie? Inside Out 2?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay, I won't ruin it. I did not think it was as good as the first one, but it was
Yeah.
still really good.
Oh, good, good.
It was still really good. But the first one was like really,
It
really.
it was when I saw that, it was like, oh my God, this is brilliant. I've
They
worked with,
introduce anxiety and envy and
yeah,
complacency
yeah,
and like in how we really do how we can be both and all at the same
yeah.
time, and that one doesn't rob you, one feeling and emotion doesn't rob you from having other feelings and emotion, and it's
No,
actually that dichotomy of them all existing together to help you have an experience in this life and to survive, and that they all have their time or place, and it's just like that awareness of being able to, my interpretation of it is like that awareness to be able to just pause, to create space, to make an observation, to figure out what your next right choice for you should be.
and we don't let people know and children that all emotions are, they're not good or bad. They just are.
They just are.
Okay. And they're all useful in some way, or we wouldn't have them. Okay. All of the
And we all
emotions.
wouldn't experience them
Exactly.
in
Exactly.
some different ratio, right?
There are definitely different ratios, and there are, you can get stuck in certain emotions because humans, unlike animals, we stuff them down, we hang on to them, we take them to us and won't let go. And that's not what's meant to happen,
No.
and that gives you dis-ease, that makes you
Sorry. I was
uncomfortable.
looking for my notebook and I must have left it in the other room.
That makes people totally uncomfortable because they just don't know what to do with them, and they just stuff them down. And it was 40 years or so of being the wrong way before I started working with a spiritual mentor and a soul coach and all these other people to understand that, you know what? I'm the captain of this ship and I want to sail it where I want to go. Those options are mine. But I have to learn how to sail properly
And
and
that
how,
scares people because it's a
oh,
big
yeah.
responsibility. There's a big shift when you realize that you're responsible for everything that happens to you and how you act and react and interpret things. And there's a difference between the stage of, because I've been in all of them, I've been in the stage of like, oh my God, everything's my fault, in that like self-deprecating,
Yep. Yep.
worry heavy,
Oh, yeah.
self-destructive, self-sabotage way. And now being the person who's just like, everything I experience right now is the result of actions I did or didn't take. Um,
But it
some
didn't
people
happen.
really,
Okay. I just want to correct you on one thing there. It's not happening to us,
no.
happening for us.
Yes, it's happening for us. And at the same time, that responsibility of, if I don't like the results I have in the life I have right now, then
Change
it's my
it.
responsibility to take the actions required to change it and know that it doesn't happen overnight just because I want it, and that I have to be diligent about it. And that scares a lot of people. It's a huge responsibility to recognize that it's you, you're the creator, you make the
Yeah.
choices, you pave the path, because it's so much easier to blame everything outside of you for the life that you have and the cards that you were dealt.
Absolutely. And I often say, because I came to that final aha moment, struggling to get myself into an ambulance after being hit by yet another car. Okay. This is in 1997. And I was so self conscious and so in my head about my weight that I wouldn't let the paramedics pick me up. Now, I lost part of my leg in the original accident, and life had become very difficult because of that. And as I'm struggling, it suddenly, there's this aha moment. It's like, oh my God, the common denominator here is you. You're the
That
one
is where it
that
all changes. Life
it
changes
absolutely,
exponentially.
yeah. And that led me to read every book I could get my hand on, from the Ninth Insight, the Four Agreements. But I went back to, my aunt had given me Maxwell Maltz's book when I was a teenager, and Maxwell Maltz is psycho-cybernetics, and there's just all these, Think and Grow Rich, and all of these books. They all said one thing: you're at the center of this. You get to do you. So stop sitting around on, pardon me, your ass. And if you want more from life, if you want more, then appreciate what you have and take more. Go for it.
And start participating.
Yeah, yeah,
Start participating, and not in that passive, I go to work, I wake up, I go to work every
yeah,
day, I come
yeah,
home to my partner, like, what more
yeah.
do you want from me? But like, take an active role
Absolutely.
and recognize that it's going to be challenging, but the challenge is part of that evolution, is truly the story of your life.
And the fact is, okay, I believe, souls, some souls come here for the big rides, all the roller coasters, all the woohoo. That's me. For the longest time, I kind of sat on the sidelines and watched everybody else boo-hoo. Now, granted, I understand, there was a lot of pain and angst involved, and going through that can change how you speak, how you think, how you are.
Mm-hmm.
Pain can actually turn you into a different human being. And you have to learn to accept that and move on, because for the longest time, I did not accept anything about me. I absolutely hated me. And that in itself made it even harder. It's like, getting in the river to go whitewater rafting and turning the boat around and trying to go against the rapids. Like that just, even in my mind, that makes absolutely no sense. Why make it harder? Well, don't know, but I sure did.
Yeah. Elaine, we always say like with age comes wisdom. And throughout the different decades of their lives, I turned 40 this year, and I, to the ability that I can understand it at almost 40, I get it. Like, because throughout I can see the different changes, the different perspective, the different life that I've lived that have shaped my reality and what I see to be important in the world, and the things that I didn't need to get caught up in, and understanding what my parents meant when they were like, "Oh, this doesn't matter," but it was the center of my universe at that time. So, in your years of wisdom, what's the one thing that you hope every woman learns like today so that she can live a different tomorrow?
Start from the inside. Your exterior, it's just a meat suit. That's a terrible way to put it, I know, but you have to start from inside. Build your core to learn to love you as you are. I'm speaking from vast experience of trying over and over to change everything about myself. And that vanity killed me twice. I won't go into that now, but the fact that I was so focused on the external and how I looked and how I felt and how people looked at me, guess what? People aren't looking at you. They have enough on their plate trying to handle themselves. We're all jugglers. We're all trying to do what we can do with what we have. And, when you add into that mix, being so focused on that, the extraneous stuff that surrounds you, you're not getting to really live, and you miss so much. Because trust me, the minute you start, like my Pollyanna the Pollyanna side started, oh, way back in the 90s, being grateful for all the little things. Just because the other side of me kept telling her to take a hike because you're crazy. But I kept doing it. And I found the more you're grateful for, the more there is to be grateful for. And the nicer you are to people, the nicer people are.
I love that. And there's so much truth in when you love yourself and you start making choices based out of love and not for hatred out of yourself, you end up making different choices.
Yeah.
And it's almost always, you almost always end up doing all the things you were forcing yourself trying to do before, but because you were doing it from a place of hate, it never stuck. It was a chore, it was always work. But
Going up, going up
yep,
happens the wrong way.
yep. And so when you were sharing that was the message that just kept reflooding my brain, was like, from a place of love, you make different choices and you get a different result. You get the result you were seeking originally when you were doing it
Yeah.
from hate. Oh, so good. Elaine, how do people connect with you? Where do they
Well,
find you in this world?
okay. In my day job, I'm a digital integration strategist who puts together websites, SEO, and social media so that your foundations allow Google to show people where you are. You can find me in search under Elaine Lindsay. You can find me under my company, which is Truel Social. And you can find me at Suicide Zen Forgiveness, which is my podcast. I do the podcast as an, an ode to my good friend Andrea, who is the reason I'm still sitting here, because she made me feel what it was to be one left behind. And that stuck with me every time I came close to that precipice. And so I thank her for that.
I'm gonna share it. I was about to say, Tiffany, don't share that, but I trust my instincts, and that's something I try to lean into more often. And the thing that just came up for me when you shared that beautiful message is that every single one of us is put here for a reason. And some of us are put here to live such a short life to impact the length of someone else's life. And what a beautiful gift she gave you, in
It
that you
really
are
did.
able now to like pass forward Like that is, universe is so cool like that.
It really is.
Mm. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing time and space and your heart and your wisdom with me and our Two Humans Talking community today. I really do appreciate our time together. And with that, everyone, please go connect with Elaine. Go check out her, go search for her, see how amazing her SEO search capabilities are. And if you need help in your own SEO and digital media footprint, please connect with her. She is there to help you. And as always, that's Two Humans Talking. I'll see you next time. Bye.